So for a long time, I've needed to make a tool that is really simple, like just to consistently email someone every day for a week or once a week for 3 weeks. Basically it's like a reminder tool, right? Reminding a person to do something, and then that tool can stop when someone responds or whatever. Or maybe I need to request something from someone weekly. Hey, don't forget, can you send me that this week? And instead of going in and like, I need a recurring email task, and I haven't really found a good way to do this. I've tried different things, if this, then that. I've scheduled emails. So I've used Zapier to automatically send emails for a while, but I'm just like, man, is there a simple way to create a tool? So let's see. I tried to put in a prompt into both Lovable, and in VO. So let me move this over here. I'm kind of confusing myself. I had a Grok window up. So let me see what this has said, and then let's see what this says. So the original prompt was, I said, I want to build a simple tool that can automatically send a recurring email message for a set number of times, weekly, 7 times, etc. The tool can be a standalone app, a Gmail overlay, Chrome extension, or other. Let's just try to create it with whatever this is. Upstash. I don't understand what this is, so we're about to find out though. Accept and create. So Next.js and with Upstash for scheduling and resend. So it's just opened a new window when I clicked on that. So I can pick a plan here. And it opened in a new window, so you're not able to see this, but I picked a primary region, and then I'm picking a plan. So I'm trying free for trying out things, limited to 1 database per account, pay as you go, 20 cents per 100K commands. So we'll pick the free plan. We're going to continue database name, email auto sending, call email auto sending, create. I'm hoping it's going to pull us back into VO here. It is. Okay, so it created that database. Now, what does that do? I don't know. We're going to find out. I don't know if that's for I don't know what it needs a database for. So while this is working, let's go back over to Lovable and see what this has spun up. Looks like we had a bit of a hiccup, so we're going to click try to fix because it got an error. All right, note, if you don't provide a resend API key, the application will still work, but will only log emails to the console instead of actually sending them. This is useful for testing. Yeah, but that's not very useful for me. Resend. Now, resend is going to be on my list, I think. Okay, I've heard of resend a lot. So, is resend owned by these guys? Y Combinator. All right, so resend is a young company. Looks like a Y Combinator company. Just started, just raised a little bit of cash. Totally cool. Not against that at all, but let me add that over here because I'm going to need actually one of these tools and have to decide who I'm going to use for sending email messages. So also, and that's for a different project. That's for my credit card project. All right, cool. So no more error. Now I'm back on Lovable. Remind about the game. So Lovable. Why does this happen? Why is it? I don't know. Now this isn't going to work. This is just the visual appeal, right, of this weekly 7 emails. Create schedule. Fill in the schedule. Test. Create schedule created. But yeah, that shouldn't send anything, right? Okay. How do we set up the tech to actually send emails? All right, so let's come back over here to VO. I'm curious why they're suggesting resend. And I'm asking why they suggest resend over other tools. We're going to find out. Maybe they're like, hey, we're best friends. Or maybe they're like, hey, you can use whoever you want. Or maybe they're, I don't know. We're going to see. Okay, easy to integrate API. Documentation is clear. Integration with QStash, which I don't know what that is. Free tier. Offers a generous free tier, 3,000 emails a month. That actually is pretty dang generous. Alternatives worth considering: SendGrid, Mailgun, Postmark. The code I provided is designed to be adaptable. You could replace resend. Let's do resend. Why not? Did I already sign up for an account with resend. No? Okay. All right, so I signed up with resend. I've created this API key. Now let's go back to VO and let's see what we do with this now. Resend API key. Okay. I need to understand what all of these are because I don't know what these are. So I'm going to take a screenshot and I'm going to ask it. I'm just going to paste it over here and just ask it, how do I get all these missing variables? Cool. So Vercel URL, looks like they changed that once I deploy it. For testing, set it to localhost. Okay, cool. QStash. Gonna need an API key from that. Now, how do we log in? We created that earlier. Wait, where do I put that anyway? All right, let's put all that on hold for now. Let's just see. All right, so obviously, so I got an error. So I don't even see where we would put the from information. So okay. All right, there's a lot of stuff that's new for me here. So what I'm gonna try to just telling it that I don't understand and to explain it to me like a beginner step by step, so that I can walk through what I need to do to get this thing working. And this is actually kind of cool because it's a learning. I'm able to like learn through this experience as I like read through this and understand what all this stuff does. Okay, so I've just learned that Redis, this database, is through Upstash, and it's going to store the email schedules. So I guess that's where it's going to store, like, that makes sense. Like, hey, like it has to be stored somewhere that this is what it's going to do when, right? Email sending service sends the actual emails. Makes sense. Scheduling service triggers the emails at the right time. So we need to set up Redis, which we've done. We've already added it, the integration to Upstash, but I think I'm going to need an API key from there. Cool. And we can test, or we can go ahead and add the API key and send a from email, which that is what I want to do. I want to get this thing going. Got it. So this cron thing, which I didn't know what that was, manually visit. So I guess I would just add this to the URL of my public project in your browser whenever you want to trigger scheduled emails. Okay. Or option 2, set up a free cron job service. Set it to run every hour or however often you want to check for emails to send. Well, no, I guess that's what we need to do because, yeah, we don't want to go to this URL for it to trigger to send emails. That actually sounds kind of crazy. Step 3, using the application. So deploy it, visit the URL, fill out the form, click schedule. So you can wait for the job to run, or you can manually visit in your browser that API/cron. All right, cool. That was actually cool. That was totally worth my time and effort to like read through that. So that's a suggestion for you. Like if you're in my boat and you're trying to learn this stuff. So what I want to know is, where do I add this information? So I want to send real emails. So I want to know, where do I add the API key for resend as well as my from email address? I don't know where in my project file that I'm supposed to do that. So let's figure that out. All right, time to figure it out. Now I've already gotten the API key. So step 1, get an API key. I've done that. We're going to add the environment variables to Vercel. So got to go to my Vercel dashboard, select on the project, settings, environment variables. Okay. Settings, environment variables. Oh, it's a lot of stuff here. Okay, let me go back to these steps here. Environment variables. Add the following environment variables one by one. First variable, resend API key. That makes sense. Okay, resend API key. Okay, so I just added the resend API key. Check. Select all environments. Did I do that? All environments. Yep, that was there. Okay. Second variable, email from. For testing, all right, we're going to use that. Or use your own email if you verified your domain with resend, which I have not yet. That's okay. So, but at least I'm going to know how to do this. I'll know where I'll come back to. So, is this name important? Email from email. This is probably not a big deal, but I'm just going to do it exactly like what they said to do. So we're going to use onboarding at resend for now. All environments. So let's save that. Okay. Cool. Set up a cron job to trigger emails. For emails to actually send on schedule, you need to set a cron job. Go to cronjob.org. Literally never heard of this in my life. This is pretty interesting. So cronjob.org. So I got to create an account here. All right, we're going to do that. Check, check. Grab a confirmation email. Here it is. All right, you can now proceed to sign in to your account. Let's go ahead and sign in. Let's come back over here and learn. Let's learn here. So, okay, we're going to sign up. After signing in, we're going to create a job, email trigger. Got it. I need a Vercel URL, which means I need to deploy this because that's the only way I can get a Vercel URL is to have a live tool, right? Whew. Okay, I feel like I waited forever for this to deploy. I'm not really sure what the issue was. It may have been, well, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to guess, but it's been deployed. This is my URL. I also had these missing variables. So the qstash token, which I scrolled back up where it showed me what that was, and that was logging into Upstash. And then it told me to go to basically to this qstash token. So I copied that and I created, just like I did earlier over here, qstash token, added it in here in Vercel. Now that's it telling me, right? It telling me what to do. That's not me knowing how to do this stuff. It's like the system explaining to me, hey, here's your next step. This is what you need to do. So now I have the Vercel URL. Vercel URL being this. And I have to set that in. So cron job. So I need to set a job. I need to create a cron job. Email schedule trigger. I like that title. URL. There it is. Schedule to run every hour. Totally sounds good. Every day, every 15, 60 minutes. Totally fine with me. Let's create it. So we got the cron job. Cron job. Okay, cool. Deploy test Vercel URL. Now, where was I supposed to add that? I'm going to scroll back up to where it was describing to me what these were. But where do I need to put that? I don't know the answer there. So again, I'm going to take another screenshot here and just ask it. Where am I supposed to put this Vercel URL? I'm really not sure. 2 messages left today. I feel like I've made good progress with this. Who knows? I may even have a live functioning version of this with my 2 more messages. So let's see. Okay, so I need to add my URL, not including the HTTP. So that's what it's saying here. You see here, add the following environment. Add your project's URL without the HTTP prefix. Select all environments. Vercel URL is what we're going to name it. So let's go back here. Vercel URL. And we're in the right project. So Vercel URL. Here's the value. All environments. Let's save it. Let's redeploy. View deployment. So we'll definitely come back and we'll adjust the tech of this, like how we want to do it later. Let's call this, hear that doggy. Let's call this VO email test. Test weekly 17th schedule email daily 2 sends. I have no idea if this is working. So VO test 2. Test 2. So we want to send it daily 2 sends. April schedule. We're going to cancel that one. Let's schedule this one.